All right, we are live. This is 2 Minute of Football. I am Chris Smith, Brandon Brady Fitzpatrick to my right, John Tadaro, the owner of where we are currently sitting here at 116 North Markley Street, Tadaro Pizzeria, who has joined us a couple weeks ago. We're back here again for another episode of 2 Minute of Football. I want to thank our other sponsors, Chris Pryor of Service Realty, 864-380-0525, and Plumbing and Paint, Ryan, Rusty, and Lynn Greer. Almost said Ryan, don't ask me where that came from. 864-735-7014. All right, fellas.
Really quick, can I just pay homage? The pizza you sent me home like 2 weeks ago was phenomenal. Like, it really is. I'm not saying this because he's sponsored.
Well, thank you.
We're all from the New York area, and we know what we're trying out with pizza, especially you. That was phenomenal. The pizza here was amazing. New York approved.
Yes,
right?
New York approved.
New York City. I'm from Brooklyn.
From Long Island.
Amazing pizza here.
Lived in the city
And I'm not just
for a
saying
number of
that. I swear to God, it was amazing.
It is good pizza. It's the iron in the water. Somebody told me once.
Right.
Fellas, I appreciate that. The one thing we've always tried to do with folks that are from the Northeast is make them feel like they're at home. Throwback.
Amazing. I mean, it really should sound. So.
There you go. All right. So let's get into this exciting past weekend of NFL games because there were some good ones and boy, there were some doozies where people look like total idiots, whether it's the player or the coach. So we'll talk about the first game, which probably is going to get Jeff Saturday fired with his interim tag. You lose. You have the largest lead ever in NFL history, and you lose 39-36 to the Vikings, to Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. Now listen, they've got good players, Justin Jefferson, they've got T.J. Hawkinson, they've got Dalvin Cook. I'm not saying they're a terrible team; they're obviously a good team, but you're up 33-0. How in the world do you let a team come back?
Do you remember that I was playing golf and you were trying to play golf on Saturday? And we looked at the score and we were like, oh man, like the Colts are winning 33. It was at that point it was like 24.
Yeah.
And when I got home from the golf tournament, I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like they came back. And I personally think that the Vikings have been kind of a shame all year. Now, they deserve their schedule, or they deserve the record. And they are good when Buffalo playing even all the time. However, I just don't think they're up there with the show. Like, they just haven't really kicked the team's ass. Like, it's always like that close game. And listen, they end up winning with a W, and it's good for them. The record shows where they are. I think they're going to get smoked in the playoffs because when that playoff hits, like you have to really start playing smart football. And if it comes down to every single game, all 17 games, if you're winning by that much, you're going to get this house.
Well, I will say this though, and it came out earlier today. So Jonathan Taylor didn't play at least 3 quarters of this game. Really was, which he was a non-factor in this game because he got hurt, but now he's most likely out for the season. So I think that took a lot away from Indy's offense because, I mean, we know Matty Ice isn't really holding it down for them.
But he got hurt in the first quarter.
Right.
They were still up 33-0
Correct.
without him.
Correct.
And then lost that lead. So Matt Ryan is now has the largest. He had a tremendous lead in the Super Bowl, the largest lead in the Super Bowl, and he got taken over by the Patriots. He's now had the largest lead in a regular season game that got eclipsed. Hanging on Matt Ryan, but it was just funny to see that he's been part of it.
Is he just guilty by association? Or is it really his fault?
I think it's partly his fault. He's one of the captains. He's one of the leaders on the team. I mean, you should be smacking people around going into, the fourth quarter and say, guys, what the hell are we doing here? They're coming back. They're gonna beat us.
Well,
like, get your passing gear.
So
What are you doing?
you blame it because
I blame it on the coach. I blame it on the team's leaders. That's what I blame this on.
Well,
Any of those guys wearing that C with the star, I blame one of them because
they
they.
defense.
I will, and I'm sure there are
Matt
defensive
Ryan got to
captains.
33 points, which is significant.
Right. But
Without Jonathan Taylor.
I agree. I blame it on Saturday, and I blame it on the defensive coordinator. And I blame it on the defensive captains.
So more Colts issue than Vikings.
I would think so. I mean, look, again, like I said, they have a lot of weapons on offense. The Vikings do. They had a very bad first half. Went into the locker room, made a bunch of changes, and obviously those changes worked. So I would say 65-35 Colts fault.
Yeah, I mean, the Vikings definitely deserve a pound of butt for doing it, but yeah, I mean, first of all, Jeff Saturday should never be in that position. Like he just
Position of the head coach to begin with, or position of the.
No, well, both. But I like Jeff Saturday. I thought he was an awesome center. He was Peyton Manning center. He obviously won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. But you haven't gone through the ringer. You haven't gone through the high school coaching, the college.
Well, dude,
I think that was it. Yeah, that was
he
the
did
highest
high
level
school.
of coaching was high school.
I'll walk that back. But he hasn't gone through that, like, just treacherous thing that earns you, like, strike for being a head coach for an NFL team. Now, is he drinking buddies with Jim Irsay? Probably. As a Buffalo
I'm
Bills
sure
fan,
the GM is his buddy. Obviously, the GM is hired.
Yeah.
I mean, the GM made the recommendation to Irsay, or maybe they were all in it together when they made the hire to begin with. I mean, I think those guys, and this is part of, and we could get into a whole different conversation with this. I think this is part of the problem with hiring head coaches in the NFL is you don't need any coaching experience anymore. And this is partly what some people, especially Bill Cowher, were screaming and yelling about. You really didn't interview anybody like you're supposed to. Remember, there is a whole, the Rooney Rule. You're supposed to interview people. They really didn't do that. They just called Jeff Saturday, hey, you still want to be on TV or you want to be the head coach of our team? I mean, that's basically how the whole thing went down. So, like, yeah, here's the keys to the locker room. Let's go. We don't need anybody else.
The weird dilemma that puts the franchise in is, let's just say Jeff Saturday won all 8 games like he had. You still have to fire him or lay him off and then start interviewing ethnic coaches.
Yeah.
And then they know that they don't have a piece of the horse at all. They're just there to do the Rooney Rule. And then you hire Jeff Saturday back because he won you 8 games. So that's just a weird situation. I mean, I think it's safe to say that Jeff Saturday's not going to do that.
I think so. I would agree with that. And also, they made some changes to the Rooney Rule. You have to interview a couple offensive coordinators, minority, a couple defensive coordinators, special teams. It's not just the head coach that you have to interview a minority for. So it's every position.
Sure, yeah.
So,
but in this case, they're going to have to lay him off and then rehire him, just so they can say they hired him or they interviewed a minority head coach.
sure.
Does that set the franchise back years? Does anyone who has any credentials want that job in India because of this? And what happens? Does that hurt them?
Well, I would say, I don't think it hurts them. What hurts them is the owner. Jim Irsay is a nut to begin with.
Right.
He's like Jerry Jones, but loves to drink.
Yeah.
The guy's got, I don't know how many DUIs and different other charges that he got in trouble for in Indy. But, I mean, he's a gazillionaire, so he gets out of trouble, And so I think the owner is part of the entire problem. Matt Ryan is not the answer. We know that as we've seen him play, and he'll be gone after this year, I believe.
The quarterback situation has happened now 3 straight years. Carson Wentz, Phillip Rivers.
Correct.
So, and I
Matt
was
Ryan.
about to mention that. Is it Matt Ryan? Like, because or is it the team that they put around? Obviously, they have one of the best young running backs in the league right now. That's obviously hurt right now. But is it the team? Is Matt Ryan set up for success? Is Carson Wentz set up for success? No, I think Matt Ryan is a big step above Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz can't throw the football against a rock side of the barn. I'm trying to think of something really clever. Sorry,
That works.
But yeah, he's hard. Like he's awful.
Well, Taylor Heineke, look at him leading that team. I mean, and not doing a bad job for a guy who's been a lifelong backup, basically. I mean, I shouldn't say lifelong. He's only been in the league a few years, but still, he's never been a starter before. And so I think that kind of lends its credence to how bad Carson Wentz is, because he's not hurt anymore. They took him off the IR. And they paid him $1 gazillion. I mean, you let Daniel Jones and the Giants march down the field to beat you at the end. I don't know if you've watched any of the games. I mean, Washington had a chance to tie. They blew that chance. And so, you know, that's enough about that.
Well, yeah, the Vikings won. And if you didn't see, the Vikings won that. Down 33-0.
Yes. They won 39-36. All right. Where are we going next?
The second game
On Saturday?
on Saturday
Cleveland
was
Ravens.
Cleveland Ravens.
Yay.
Yeah.
Browns won.
Yeah,
Lamar Jackson.
he's out.
Out.
And Deshaun Watson, though, I thought there for moments
He looked
that Deshaun looked better. I thought he got into a little bit of a rhythm with the team. Clearly has some kind of connection with Njoku.
Yeah. The Joker didn't really give me that many points in fantasy. If this week is the first week of playoffs, and I think I'm out.
I am out. I lost to my son.
Oh, good, awesome.
Nothing
Yeah.
better than that.
Yeah, so the Ravens, I mean, you know that they're utilizing this last 4 or 5 weeks for Watson to get just adjusted. You know, that's it. It's a warm-up. It's preseason for him. They're out of the playoffs. I think they are completely.
No, they're in the hunt.
They're not. All right. So, yeah, but they're not. It's not going to happen.
Hold on. Cincinnati's. We'll get into the whole playoff picture here in a few minutes.
And then the last game, which was a doozy. I knew who was coming to town, and it was those little Dolphins. And, you know, McDaniels could talk on the ground once. He was a little cute.
You don't like that shirt? I wish it were colder.
It was funny. It was funny. And when they asked Tua about playing in snow, it's like, it snowed in Alabama.
And everyone in Buffalo thought that was really cute as well.
I thought it was funny.
Did you see him on the sidelines? He was miserable.
Oh.
He was
Are
not
you
having
me?
fun.
Did you see? I mean, well, obviously you saw. But good Lord, how many inches of snow? And they're literally, the seats are covered. I saw like the pregame. It was up to here with the seats being covered and everything. I was like, I would not. You couldn't pay me to go to that game.
I would have loved it. I would have loved it. My first Buffalo Bills game was in January, and it was freezing, and I loved every moment of it.
I thought we were in Philadelphia there though for a while when those snowballs started getting fired from the
Yeah.
stands.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun watching that. I knew that something was coming in terms of they were going to stop the game and say something, but how can you not like just start throwing snowballs? No matter what city you're in.
At least they're not ice balls
Yeah.
like Philly did against the Giants. They hit poor Santa Claus with an ice ball that Philly banned you.
Yes. Hey, I don't know if you heard this, but and I don't know if I mentioned last time, but they were saying that if it ends up being the Bills versus Philadelphia, the infrastructure of America would not be able to handle each fan base. Like, the world is going to explode if one of the teams wins. Obviously, the Eagles
I mean, when
have
Philadelphia won the Super Bowl the last time, they burned their own city.
And they had to grease the poles down. They had to grease the poles down. Which is, yeah, I mean, you know it's bad when you got to grease the poles down so people don't like climb them and break them and do all sorts of things to them. I mean, that's just insanity.
But yeah, that game I think was an awesome game. I think if you're a Dolphins fan, you know, like they really gave the Bills most of their money. I just feel like the Bills were the better team. I'm not saying that to be biased, but I just feel like they knew the Bills knew what they were doing, marching down the field. The clock management was awesome. Josh Allen just did everything right.
It'd be saying it totally different too if they got smoked at the end.
Well, I would say honestly, the Dolphins got the best of us because they won the first game in Miami in 120-degree weather, and obviously they did it at home. So I would give kudos to the Dolphins, but it was the Bills. The Bills took control pretty much the whole game. The third quarter was a little flat, but the fourth quarter they had it. They really did, and I think Tua, Waddle, and Tyreek Hill did exactly what they've been doing all year. They showed against very good defense that they still can do it against no matter who it is. So I do feel like the Dolphins are deserve to be in the playoffs. They're a good team. I took them seriously every minute. Obviously they beat us before, but they can go to town on you if they want.
Absolutely. I mean, they've got the offense, that's for sure. There's no question about that. And Tua is proving to be better than all the crap talkers, all the experts were talking. I mean, I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I talked a lot of crap about Tua and him not being able to throw a ball over 25, 30 yards.
It doesn't bother you that these guys, he hits Tyreek Hill, he hits Jamal. These guys have great separation. Oftentimes are turning back to catch the ball, coming back to catch the ball, and then turning up. But they're 10, 15 yards ahead of the DB at that point, and they're not going to get caught. You saw that Saturday night. Now I know you had wins. You're in Buffalo. It's a little different, but that's been that way all year.
Yes, it has.
But those two, their gap is crazy. You go to Tyreek Hill on the screen just so because you know he's going to burn somebody for another 40 yards. So and they are two of the best. Waddle hasn't been in the league for that long, but he's shown you
You get separation.
Yeah, exactly. They are very good at what they do. And you can have, it's shown that you can have a quarterback like Tua that they make Tua look like an MVP caliber quarterback. How about that?
There you go. Yeah, I agree. I agree. By the way, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas this year. A lint roller. Good. Googly.
I love my dog.
He loves his dog.
I love my dog so much.
I'm like starting to itch myself over here.
This is love right here. I love you, Rocky.
All right. Hey, at least I didn't throw you through a Christmas tree. Did you ever see the shot?
Oh yeah. They got angry runners. They got the scepter.
Yeah.
Kenny Smith.
Have you seen
I
that?
did see that clip. I did see it.
He's like running away, and Kenny Smith just throws him into the tree. Anyway.
That's how Shaq really felt.
Oh, he was pissed. I'm sure he did something. All right, moving on to Eagles. They have an issue this week. Just touch on this game. Eagles-Bears. Eagles won. Jalen Hurts separated shoulder.
What do you do? What's the
Jalen Hurts goes down, the Eagles go down.
Yeah,
It's that simple.
He is in contention for MVP, and well deserved. So what do you do? What's the week-to-week basis off that? What's the best word I'm looking for?
They haven't given any yet.
Separated shoulder. I'm saying 4 weeks, maybe 3.
Right now, I'm saying this question is they're playing the boys this week.
Yeah.
That's a divisional game. Obviously, they ran away with the You can't catch up with 13-1. They're the only 13-1 team in the league. The closest is the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Vikings. That's it. But that's tough.
Yeah,
That's tough.
I agree.
It's a good thing they've got that padded lead. Puts them in a position that if they want to sit him down, if they want to rest him, even give him an extra week's rest, puts them in a really good situation to have that lead that they have.
It just hurts that they're playing the Cowboys. You know, like, and I
There we go.
What?
There we go. There we go. He's a boys fan.
Oh, are you?
Yesterday was a very
I didn't know.
different.
I really
That's
I
okay.
like you until then.
No, that's
I
okay.
know. I thought he was a Jets or Giants.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, Roger Staubach. I was a big Roger Staubach fan growing up,
Was.
and became a Cowboys fan because of that.
Okay. All right. I'll take it. I'll take it. But you know, it really does hurt that they're playing the Cowboys. The Cowboys are good. We're gonna get to that game momentarily. But that Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Like now, Trevor Lawrence looked good.
He did.
He's actually looking like I think what everyone expected him to look like in college.
ETN has had some
100 yards,
100 yards.
You
Yeah.
just want to jump back in because I thought that game.
No, it's a great game to talk about.
Yeah, walk off, touchdown, interception. Like, but the Jags were pretty much dominating that game.
Yes, they were.
Well, unexpectedly.
Yeah, they were in the game because the Cowboys had a
Yeah,
17-point
maybe
lead.
that's the
Lost
best
it.
way to put it.
Yeah, they were in the game. Well, I really like the Cowboys were up 17. Lost that lead. I would think and lose the game in overtime.
Now, is it a thing to say, well, you lost against the Jags, or is it everyone identifies the Jags kind of getting better? Like, it's not the same thing as saying you lost against the Lions, because the Lions are good, and you kind of saw them being good over the last year under Dan Campbell. So losing to the Jags, is it that sour taste?
So
The Jags are 6-8. This is the NFL. Chris and I talked about this earlier. Are we gonna rail against the Chiefs because they played a close game against the Texans the same way we railed against the Cowboys because they played a close game against the Texans?
Sure.
This is the NFL.
And the
It is
Texans, 11-1 team, or 1-11
1-11
team
team.
can play anyone.
Yes, they proved it the last 2
They
weeks.
proved it, exactly.
The last 2 weeks.
They played
Last second win for the Cowboys against the Texans last week. Overtime for the Chiefs against the Texans this week. They just proved that.
You should have seen me yesterday watching the Chiefs game with the walk-off touchdown with a big F-bomb when they did that, because that was really a Texas game yesterday. The Chiefs, I respect them more than any other team besides the Bills, but man, I really wanted the Chiefs. I want that comfort zone one spot, and the Chiefs, of course they win. Of course they win in overtime. They're so good at it.
They are. And that's why Mahomes is in the running for MVP. I mean, look, I think it's between Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, really. There's really,
Quite
it's between Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Let's be honest. All right, those are the two basic quarterbacks that are in the tops in the MVP race. I give it to Jalen Hurts over anybody.
I mean, Mahomes had 3 interceptions the other night.
Right, but everybody has a bad game.
Yeah, of course. And Mahomes is impressed me. I respected the hell out of the guy. But I just, Jalen Hurts definitely. I feel like he's dominating. He definitely deserves him.
He even struggled a little bit throwing the ball early yesterday against Chicago and had 3 rushing touchdowns.
Right.
In the game. It just,
He can
Just
do it
so
any
dynamic.
which way. Right. he can
Look
do
at
it
this
any way.
guy.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Is that what you were talking about?
that's
Yeah.
great. The offensive
That's
line
not teamwork.
getting down on that's teamwork. Getting down on the ground,
that's
cleaning
knowing
the
the
snow
elements
off.
of teamwork. This day. Yeah, that was.
He doesn't have a phone.
I like that. Men having fun. That's exactly how I would describe Saturday night.
Oh.
Phil's dumb.
And I was
Men
a
having
I
man.
thought you were talking about something else.
Hey, I was a man having fun in multiple ways.
Okay.
My anniversary was the night before.
Oh, are we allowed to talk about that on this show?
This is-
Ruh-roh.
It's very suggestive. I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
Suggesting it.
All right.
Just watch the movie, all right?
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, all right,
All
moving
right,
on.
let's talk about how finally the Broncos won. They beat the Cardinals.
Which both horrible teams. Ballmer is out for the
quarterbacks.
season. Horrible. I never thought he was going to be doing really good. The Broncos, just horrible. They're out. Like, they're already deemed out. So both teams are deemed out.
All right, so let's talk about the next game where bonehead Jacoby Myers
Oh,
what in the world? If the Raiders Patriots game, Jacoby Myers.
Oh,
What are you thinking? You toss the ball. You toss the ball to one of your guys, and the Raiders pick it up and run it back.
No, you
That's
throw it
the-
back,
throw it back to the quarterback,
Right.
which
Right.
is
And
worse.
let me just suggest there was a domino effect. If Mac Jones made that tackle, it would have been forgotten. Why didn't
True.
you make that tackle? You do anything, you get hurt making that tackle. Then you
Chandler
lost
Jones
the game.
literally stepped on his chest, ran over.
You
It's a
right
great
at the
clip.
shoelaces. I don't care. So Matt Jones, you make that tackle, but yeah, that should have never been a cuteness, flea flicker, whatever you want to call it. It should have never had a trick play like that at all.
Game's
They
time.
didn't need to. They
Going
gave time.
overtime.
You go to overtime. You go to overtime, and you win that way. But what was that? I refuse to believe Bill Belichick called that.
I would
hope.
say it's hard to believe myself.
Yes.
I would say it's hard to believe myself. And first of all, if it's an audible in the playbook, that's ridiculous to begin with, because you shouldn't be doing audibles like that.
But Belichick called it situational football, which the situation is a 2-minute offense, and you go to overtime. That's the situation. That's the only
You know what the
situation.
situation was last night? Belichick reamed somebody's asshole. That's the situation last night.
He took it out on his son with a mullet. Yeah.
Like, for crying out loud. I mean, Mac Jones and Jacoby Myers, I would not want to have been in Bill Belichick's office
No.
after that game.
Not at all.
His good lord. They no Vaseline probably for those two guys.
And then on top of that, like, the distance of the lateral was absurd.
He was on the sideline. Threw it all
Yeah.
into the center, basically in the middle of the field.
Yeah. What is that? It has to be 15 yards. Something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
The
easy.
distance of the pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're lateraling 15 yards with someone basically playing zone against your quarterback early enough. So the guy had the route on the ball. Playing zone. So I was listening to Good Morning Football on NFL Network this morning. And it's my go-to show in the mornings. And they said that has to go down as one of the most bonehead plays of all time. And they left fumble, and they did a lot
Leon
of other
Lett.
plays.
Leon Lett.
Yes, they mentioned Leon Lett, and that has to go down as one of the worst because you're in the hunt. The AFC East, all 4 teams are in pretty much, and you lose the game that way, a walk-off interception.
Yeah.
It's unfathomable against a Bill Belichick team. I mean, that never happens against the Patriots. Now, the miracle in Miami, that was Miami doing it. It was like you couldn't really stop that. It was so lucky that I don't blame the Patriots for letting that happen. Now, I mean, it's very unlucky that they couldn't tackle it anymore. But that never happens against the Patriots ever. So I just don't know what the punishment's going to be on that. Someone's
Oh,
doing
boy.
a million laps not playing next week.
All right, so real quick, gonna pay some bills here. We're halfway through the show, or 30 minutes through the show. Sitting next to me, to my left, is John Tadaro, Tadaro's Pizza, downtown Greenville. They also have a place in Clemson. We're here every other Monday night to do 2 Men in a Football. And I want to thank Chris Pryor, Service Realty, 864-380-0525. And calling in Hank Rusty and Linda Greer, 864-735-7014. Next week we'll be back at Coliseum. Thank Brad Black for sponsoring us every other week. All right, let's get back to it now that paid some bills. Hey, Nucci. Please. Please.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
He knows
So- Yeah, I'll take this one. And one of these Columbia crafts.
Columbia Crafts.
This is an extended commercial break that's going live.
We gotta pay some bills. Come on. Thank you very much.
No, thank him.
Well, Matt, thank you very much, Mercedes-Benz. For
I'm not in it. People ain't in my face.
Thank you to the other Chris Smith for handing us the beers.
That's right.
All right. Now that we're refilled, pit stop.
yeah,
All right.
so
What else we got? Let's. All right. Bengals back to their old form
yeah, and without Higgins, right?
without Mixon, T. Higgins.
No, Mixon.
Mixon's back.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
back.
Higgins, but
Mixon.
He didn't do crap for me last night.
Mixon is back, kind of half and half in it right now because he's still not. Same thing with T. Higgins.
No, he was back.
Tyler
was
Boyd
back.
got a lot of the passes. You okay?
But they didn't have.
Yeah, they had all three receivers, but they're still backed up.
Yeah, but
Jamar Chase,
Jamar Chase.
solid game.
yes, and you just poor Tom Brady. It's not really poor Tom
I
Brady.
actually feel bad for him. He's dominated our position. You almost
Well, he
feel
should have just retired.
Come on.
Man, listen. Once your boy Bruce Arians went, you should have went with him, and Gronkowski. I mean, come on. Now you're killing your
You're getting
reputation.
trolled by Antonio Brown. And
Who apparently has some mental issues.
they would say, you know,
Wait, when they cut that dude's brain open, it's going to be interesting research on his brain because Antonio Brown definitely has CTE.
well, it happened.
So,
And
a
all,
bunch of other
the tipping point was the birth certificate.
Yeah?
He lost behind that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was throwing up game signs like two when that happened. And since then, like that's where he became the. I mean, I know he's always been kind of a diva, but he's been like a subtle diva, and he's making numbers. It's sad to think that he could have been the best. He could have surpassed Jerry Rice. He could have surpassed anybody, and then he just lost. He lost. He went out for lunch. He's still out.
I can't wait to see O.J. Simpson. That's another one. Oh, God.
Are we talking about this?
I'm just saying. You said Antonio Brown, and that kind of spiraled into.
Simpson?
Can't wait to see your
Yeah, I don't want to. Anyway, Chargers, Titans. Chargers beat them. Tannehill out. We talked about Giants and Commanders briefly. Talk about tonight's game. You've got Rams versus Packers. So Rams are where?
Rams are out.
Rams are out. No way. Oh, they're 4-0.
Actually, because it's the NFC, they are, you know,
They're not on the bubble.
like everyone's on the bubble.
Technically, everyone's in the
The
Packers.
whole NFC
Even the
is
Packers.
on the bubble, besides Rams.
In the hunt.
Yeah. So you have
Giants. The Bucks.
Bucks are on, the Giants, the Commanders. So all 4 NFC East teams are in it. Right now.
Lord, what a playoff.
Just think, a year or so ago, they were called the NFC least.
Yeah.
The worst division in
For a
football.
while,
For a while.
they were horrible, all teams. The line, I'm really going for the line. I really just hope they go on there. They're not going to catch the Vikings, but I really think the Lions deserve to be in the playoffs.
Who does Washington play next week?
I don't know.
Oh, they play the Giants. No,
No,
that was this week. I'm like, hey, why is that here? I got it. They play the Niners.
Well, there you go. That's
Brock's pretty
But
good.
what about who do
Lions, Panthers.
That's a great. They'll be 8-7. That is a playoff spot.
Well, if Washington loses, yeah. Well,
Or they
when
could-
Washington loses. Because, yeah. He's Purdy.
Yes,
But Debo is Debo. We don't know what's going on with Debo. So that's a big hit.
So we were talking playing golf the other day that Now, it was a fun time, but they're saying that Purdy is the Jeremy Lin of the NFL right now. Which, if you think about it, really think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Now, the way is he a flash in the pan, a long flash in the pan, or is he, you take him seriously? Now, obviously, there's a 3-game sample size. We got to see a lot more. He's going to have to, they're definitely going to the playoffs, right? Like, yeah, they're head of the division, they're 10-4. 3 games are because of that, because of him. So if he lights up the playoffs, like that's going to be a great
Tom
story.
Brady.
Yeah,
He's
the next
been
Tom Brady.
efficient. He's been efficient. That's what he's been.
And he takes control. To be honest with you, I haven't seen a guy like Brock Purdy take control of an offense this young since Tom Brady. I mean, who do you have to compare to?
Yeah. No, I mean,
I mean,
very,
he won it the first year he starting games.
very similar. Yeah. You know, Drew Bledsoe got hurt.
Yeah, similar. Been getting the job.
Yeah. Drew Bledsoe got hurt. Belichick put Brady in. Rest is history. We've gone through a couple quarterbacks in San Fran, but who was their first starter?
Oh, the Trey Lance experiment.
Oh, Trey Lance.
Trey
That's
Lance.
it. I forgot his name.
Yeah, right.
Trey Lance, then Jimmy G, and now you got Purdy. So, you know, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see once the Niners get to the playoffs. You were playing a higher level than when you play regular season. So it'll be interesting to see how Purdy plays in the playoffs. And some of these defenses he's going to play against are top notch. You know, you're talking the creme de la creme of the NFC teams that you're going to be playing against.
So if
And
you're,
it is a
Could
different.
the 49ers go to Philadelphia?
well, if
against
you're a
that
3
defense?
seed, if you're a 3 seed, who would you play right now? It ended.
You would play the
You
Giants.
play the Giants, right? Which could you could win that? I mean, Giants can be awesome, or they can be just, who knows. So I think that's a win. I mean, and you would be playing in San
You
Francisco.
tell you you're playing the game at home.
Right.
You don't have to go to New York. You don't have to battle the elements.
Yes, that would be good for him.
To me, the tough road game would be if they ended up playing the Eagles.
If they
Going to
end up-
Minnesota,
if they end up-
going to
Yeah, if they end up playing, well, the Vikings.
Yeah, they'll put the roof. They'll close it. They're inside.
Dallas. If you go to Dallas,
Dallas is a hostile environment, but yeah, I mean, so that story has to be the best story in football right now. I'm kind of rooting for him. I love it.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd say that's the best story. I honestly think that what's going on in Detroit's a bigger story right now, in my opinion.
Well, I'm a fan personally of Detroit.
I think Jared Goff got traded by the Rams to offload him because they thought that he had no future. He now has his buddy St. Brown up there, who those two have a connection like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. They are killing it up there together. And I think with Dan Campbell and you've got 2 running backs up there that are dynamic with Swift and Williams.
Yes.
I mean, they trade T.J. Hawkinson for whatever reason for a couple lowly draft picks.
The defense looks strong. Hutchinson is unbelievable.
Hudson's,
Right.
hometown.
I mean, I think that the Lions is a bigger story than Purdy.
Well,
in my opinion.
I feel like
That's just me.
because I can't 100% disagree with you. However, next year the Detroit Lions are going to be the best because they're just going to be just by default going to be better.
Well, I
And
like your point
they're
because of
fighting-
expectations too. I think Detroit has clearly exceeded any expectations.
Oh,
that anyone
absolutely.
had.
Now-
So I see your point about that story itself. With the 49ers, we expected them to be good.
Oh.
We expected them to be in the game. Now, obviously, with the injuries, we didn't know what was going to happen with Garoppolo going down. But
Well, we kind of just touched up on it. You start with Trey Lance, who screw over Garoppolo. Garoppolo has his hat in hand, basically with a silly contract, and it is all based on incentives for him to get paid, and he incentivized them, or he passed them, and then he gets hurt, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Irrelevant. I just feel like it's just way more in the spotlight and magnified than the Detroit Lions. Now, I personally love the Detroit Lions. I feel like they are my NFC team. I'm gonna always root for them, but I feel like on a more of a bigger spotlight.
If Detroit
Third
makes the
quarterback.
playoffs, it may change that.
Oh yes, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Oh, if Detroit, if they make the playoffs, that is.
I will buy a
historic.
Detroit hat and every game besides the Bills. You know,
Well, they may
No,
play the Bills.
in the Super Bowl, and we beat them. We beat them.
If that happens, just put me out of my misery. 'Cause, there's no way that. I mean, I wish the Lions would make the Super Bowl, but they've got to run through a buzzsaw of at least 4 teams that are better than them. The Eagles, the Vikings, the Niners, and the 49ers.
Man, they can play anybody.
I agree. They could play anybody, but you also got to remember the difference between regular season and it's just obviously it's like somebody going from college football and then you play NFL preseason and then it kind of just goes the type of play once you hit the regular season. It's the same thing when you go to the playoffs. You got the regular season here. When you hit that playoff,
It's a new season.
it's a whole new season and it's a whole new level of play.
People are salivating at the mouth.
Correct.
I mean, I totally agree with you. I think we all know that.
So, and that's where I think Brock Purdy may have some issues. I also think Detroit may end up with some issues because of that kind of stuff. And there are a couple other teams that I think may end up with some issues who may make the playoffs. That they're not going to be able to play at this level with everybody else.
So, really quick, back to the game tonight. I kind of
Yes,
I
Braves
called you.
Packers.
I called you the other day. Topic that I want to talk about. So, our boy Baker Mayfield gets the keys to not even a Porsche, a Lamborghini, and I said what a very
Thank God
good.
Lee Mason's not here right now.
Oh my God. Well, I thought a good topic to kind of discuss was how many number one pick quarterbacks have actually thrived and became like legends. If you look at the list, it's very small. Most really good quarterbacks have come to a mid-tier Division I school or lower. And if you think about it, now there are exceptions. Tom Brady going to Michigan, but being also there's a caveat.
6th round draft.
Sixth round pick.
So is that like you really put him into that pool of being a number one draft pick from USC? No, but he still went to Michigan. He still started a couple games, but he was also a 6th round draft. But if you
Yeah,
look,
Joe Montana was what? Third?
Joe Montana was third, but he went to Notre Dame when Notre Dame was really good. But yeah,
Yeah, but I think these are guys that are legends, and I'm trying to figure out. You know, Peyton Manning is the one I think of.
Hey Manning, Tennessee,
Yeah,
that's an exception.
Number one, he was like the exception. to
The
Peyton Manning.
weird part about it is you call it an exception, you call it a moment. He went to Tennessee, won the championship. That's a big game too. But if you think about it, all these number one draft picks over the past 10 years, let's just have failed miserably. Like Matt Leinart in USC, he was the guy in college football. He was the quarterback in college football.
Him and Reggie Bush,
Reggie
that whole
Bush,
USC
the
team.
Bush thing, that thing. I mean, Vince Young. Vince Young.
So you're not talking about just number one overall picks. You're
I'm
talking about
actually-
number one picks.
I would
His
like
lineup was the 10th.
I would almost would like to stick with the number one overall draft pick, but let's just see, like,
Quarterback-wise,
Quarterback.
there haven't been that many. That I can think. I mean, Peyton.
He's the one that I think of that I just, yes. That was the one. Peyton was the number one overall.
All right.
Wasn't Sam
Marcus
Bradford.
Rufford, the biggest flop
Oh,
draft.
Jamarcus Russell.
Tim Couch, David Carr, Sam Bradford,
Yeah, I think Bradford.
Jeff George,
Alex Smith is good.
Vinny Testaverde.
So I think my overall point is, do these GMs now see I'd rather take Josh Allen from Miami? I'd rather take Patrick Mahomes from Texas Tech. I'd rather take who else is good right now? Sam or
Well, the biggest flop ever, we know.
Miami, but I put Marcus Russell there. Marcus Russell there. Cam Newton is almost a flop. Like, now, there's an exception. Like, he never came down to be amazing.
Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer. Now, do you call Carson Palmer a flop?
No,
Yeah,
He
he
was
had a
a
successful career.
Andrew Luck.
You call him a flop? He was very good when he quit. He just got hurt so much.
Eli.
Eli Manning's definitely not a flop. He
He's got 2 Super Bowls.
One
He
against
knew
the
it, he knew it twice.
He's not a flop. Now,
He's not.
that whole trade issue, I mean, I'm glad it worked out.
Troy Aikman.
Was he number 1 pick?
Yep.
I mean, 3 Super Bowls.
Yes.
Terry
You're
Bradshaw.
going way too far now.
I'm just saying.
Definitely
But
not a flop.
John Elway
Definitely not a flop.
was drafted by the Baltimore.
Remember, he said, I'm not going.
Yeah, he did the same thing Eli
He did the same thing Eli
Or
did.
Eli did
Before
the
he
same
did,
thing
Eli
he
did
did,
the same thing he did. Yeah, that was he was going to play baseball with the Yankees before he was going to go play with
Yeah,
the Colts.
he
That's
actually got picked up by the Yankees.
Cam Newton. That's kind of a floppy career.
He's got an NFL MVP.
So,
He's been to a Super Bowl.
I
He's
think-
off with
I
a flop.
you look at Baker Mayfield's resume, and he got drafted by the Browns, and he went through 3 head coaches there.
Yes.
And
Yes.
You say he still got a good shot at it, probably not, but he's also still like a little whiny. Yeah, it was Baker Mayfield. And then he gets out of there somehow. Gets this fresh start in Carolina.
Another flop of a head coach.
Another flop of a head
Yes.
coach.
Loses his head coach 5 games in.
So he is in a system with a head coach that's staying there for a while, that's won a Super Bowl, that's been to another Super Bowl and lost against the Patriots, and he has a system around him that works, so he knows he's going to stay there. Now, obviously, he's not going to start. They have Matthew Stafford. He is not going to stay there. Maybe as a backup, if Baker Mayfield allows himself to be a backup, I would be very surprised. But can he thrive in a system that just stays in place, that he knows isn't going to go anywhere? Because he's been good the past 2 games. I mean, 4-0 last week, right?
Yeah. That was the first game.
That was the first game.
First
Oh,
game.
was it
Raiders.
the first game?
Raiders.
It was against, yeah.
Yeah, this is the second game tonight.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he marched him down the field. Well, I wouldn't, and I would. It wasn't a great game for him. I would not say that.
It was a solid game, great last drive.
Great last
wow,
drive.
yeah.
Solid game.
I mean, for how many days he was there and the playbook and all that. Yes.
He didn't
Solid.
even know these receivers' names. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, he's doing it now.
Yes.
Like, who else is Allen Robinson still playing? Or is he out? Like,
He's still playing. I don't know.
so, I mean, he hasn't really been doing that much anyway. But, like, I'm not a full judge on the fan. However, you kind of feel like, okay, now I can see what he's all about.
Well, to me, this is what he's auditioning for his next job. I don't think he's going to stay.
Oh, yeah.
That's-
Well, the
so I
only
think
way to
this is-
say is if he's back.
Yeah.
You know, they're paying that Stafford way too much.
How long does Stafford have? The injury that he's had this year, is that something that's going to linger? How long does he have? How long does
I thought
Stafford
they just
have?
extended
I don't know.
after the Super Bowl. If I'm
I think you're right. I think you're right.
On the heels of the trial, the Rams to a 4 years, 160, keeping Stafford through 2026.
Now, he didn't really ever get hurt that much.
I mean, here and there, nothing,
Like,
right? Nothing like this.
No.
Nothing like this, because he's got it's his shoulder, but he's also up there. He's not a spring chicken anymore. The guy's going to be 35.
That's young. What is Brady? 45? Come on.
he won a Super Bowl 2 years
Look,
TV
TV 12.
If you don't make it
We're all
to
in
45
awe.
as an NFL quarterback, you fail.
Oh, yeah, he really set that bar. They won 46. You can go down, divorce your wife, and just, eat ramen noodles every night.
That's right.
Lose half your money to FTX.
Yeah.
He lost him and Giselle lost a good bunch on that FTX deal. tell you
It
that.
was, when I first saw that commercial, I was like, "Whoa, what are you doing? Are you really selling people on Bitcoin or whatever?" Crypto, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways, we're off tangent.
So what?
Yeah. So what else?
All right. So here's how the playoffs look currently, because we only got like 10 minutes left. So in the we'll start AFC. The Bills and the Chiefs are the only two who have actually clinched a playoff spot of these 7. So there are 5 other spots. Here's who's in the hunt. The Bengals, who are first in the AFC North.
Let me just
I
say,
think that's
mathematically, we haven't even won the division yet. Mathematically, we clinched our record.
Correct.
But we have the Chiefs won their division. The Bills have.
right. But you're the number 1 because of points, the tiebreaker.
Well, tiebreaker against you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then number 3 is the Bengals. They are first in the AFC North. Then you've got the Titans, who are 7-7 because they're first in the AFC South. Then you've got the Ravens, who are 9-5 because they're second in the AFC North. You have the Chargers, who are in the 6th seed. They are 8-6 because they're second in the AFC West. Then you've got number 7 is Miami because they are second in the AFC East. So those are your current 7 spots. If everything ended right now, then you've got number 8 Patriots. All these are on the bubble. 8 Patriots, 9 Jets, 10 Jags, 11 Raiders, the Browns, the Steelers.
And look at all these. They all have
There's no way
6
the
and 8.
Colts.
They're all 6 and 8.
Except for the Colts. There's only been 4 teams mathematically eliminated. And that's the Texans, the Bears, and the Cardinals. And then if you go to the NFC, you've got the Eagles, got the number 1 spot, Vikings 2, Niners 3rd, the Boys are 5th. Why are you guys? Oh, okay, so you're not in 1st. 4th is the Bucks. 6th is the Giants.
That way, anyone can win that division.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, yeah, without a doubt. 7th is the Reds and the Commanders. And then you've got on the bubble the Seahawks, who have just crapped the bed in the last few weeks. Geno Smith didn't go as well. You've got the Lions at 9, the Packers at 10. The Panthers are 11. And you've got the Saints, the Falcons, and Rams. Yikes.
You still give up on Aaron Rodgers. 5 and 8. I mean, is he done? Like, are we not seeing Tom Brady in the playoffs there? Which is incredibly weird. I mean, not even one of them.
We got to get somebody to run that sound. When was the last time? We get somebody to get our phone.
It has to be over the past 20 years.
I was going to say, has it happened? One of them is maybe both. Let's find that out. No, Brady and Rodgers not in the play.
Oh, Brady and Rodgers not in the play. I wasn't paying attention. Here, I'll look it up.
Here, last time Rodgers, you give Rodgers. Last time,
This is our crack research staff right
That's
here
right.
at work.
That's it.
Last time Rodgers not in the playoffs. The exceptions was 08, his first year as a starter, 17 when he broke his collarbone, 18 in Mike McCarthy's final season.
Oh, that's far more recent than I thought.
Yeah.
yes, Brady has never had a losing season as a starter and no one missed the playoff. In 2002,
So
the first year he started all 16 regular games. They won the Super Bowl in 01. So he has been in the playoffs since 2002. That's 20 years ago.
yeah.
Wow.
So they've both been in the playoffs since
One or the other has been in the playoffs since 2002.
Yeah. Now, what did it say? He's only had one season where he broke his collarbone and he missed it.
3.
3.
08, his first season as a starter. 17, he broke his collarbone. and 2018 they canned Mike McCarthy. And they did make obviously they did make.
So
Yeah, I would have gotten that trivia question wrong. I didn't realize it was that recent for Rodgers to have a.
I mean, how old is he? 39,
38.
38.
Yeah.
He has about 7 years.
Please no. I hope not.
I like Aaron Rodgers. I'm a fan.
I think
I like him. I think he's eccentric.
I think he should keep his ass off Pat McAfee's show.
I'm a fan of his play. That's what I'll say.
I like the guy. Do I think would I hang out with him? Probably not. I feel like
No,
you know he would
apparently
smell
he's
like
a total dick.
well, I think he would smell like tree bark, and he's like he'd be eating tree bark while rubbing it. Like he's such a cool hippie. But I don't know. He intrigues me for some reason. But you know, yeah, he looks like a dick.
I mean, all the stories you hear, breakups with girls.
Nobody in his family likes him.
Right. And instead of talking to his teammates about issues, he goes on a stupid show run by a lunatic and airs all his grievances on there.
I like that guy. He's funny.
I think he's the wannabe Howard Stern of sports.
No, I think that's a niche. There is no Howard Stern sport, so by all means, Mazel Tov, Pat McAfee. Happy Hanukkah, everyone, by the way.
He says Mazel Tov and then goes Happy Hanukkah.
I gotta give it up for my K's.
Yes, for us Jays.
Yeah.
This is the second day. What? Wait. You don't have a menorah in here?
I'm sorry. I'll get one tomorrow.
Oh man.
You don't have a Festivus pole either?
You just pick one of those.
The Festivus for the rest of us. Come on.
What is that? That's in 4 days, right?
That's in 4 days.
That's on the 23rd.
24th or 20th?
No, it's the 23rd.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always the day before
So
Christmas.
you gotta wrap a pole. You gotta wrap a pole. And put Kramer at the top or something.
You've inspired me, John.
All right.
We're going to have a Festivus poll.
Oh Lord.
And some Kwanzaa.
What's Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa.
That's
What? You gotta Google.
You have to get it Rashiki or something.
Chic. You know way more than I know.
I don't know. I'm just we all
Brandon
have to-
Brown, can you please let
Yeah.
us know
Brandon Brown.
what kind of
What
decorations?
can we do?
Yeah. I know it's from Spain. I know it's that's where Kwanzaa came from, and it's 7 days.
Like this weekend. Why do we ask Brandon? He's never celebrated Kwanzaa, right? Does he celebrate?
That's who you would know.
Okay, we're not gonna.
This is
spiraling out of control.
we have good thing we only have 2 minutes left.
Yes. We will never see you again. The pizza here is amazing. Not guilty by association whatsoever.
Dude, knock the microphone off. Anyway, all right. Let's close this up. So happy holidays to everybody for whatever you celebrate. Right? There we go.
Yeah,
We covered
I
everything.
think that was the point we're trying to make.
But we are 2 Men in Football. We are sitting here at Tadaro Pizza, 116 North Marketplace Street, downtown Greenville. To the left is John, the owner. To my right is Brandon Brady Fitzpatrick. Want to thank you for hosting us every other week here. It's been 2 weeks and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We'll see if the FCC allows us back.
It's my pleasure. And thank you guys for letting me join.
And then we've got, just want to thank Chris Pryor at Service Realty, 864-380-0525, and Plumbing and Paint, Rusty and Lynn Greer, 864-735-7014. We will see you a week from today, live from Coliseum on Maywood Road. Have a great night, and thanks for watching.
Good night.